What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's Black Series talk show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And today, we're going to be discussing the Black Series and are we getting priced out? This video is also just going to kind of encompass a larger discussion about action figure prices in general, the rising cost of everything so rapidly over the past year or so. But we are mainly a Black Series channel, so you know that's kind of where our focus lies. But this discussion definitely applies pretty much across the board.
Right.
This is also the 200th episode of Figure It Out, so that is awesome. Justin, edit in the confetti, the celebration.
200 episodes. Hit like for 200 episodes.
Yes.
And subscribe if you're new.
Man, Justin, it has been such a long time since we have actually missed an episode of Figure It Out.
At a certain point, it's like we've never missed an episode. Every single week has at least had an episode of Figure It Out. But are we getting priced out of the Black Series, Nate? Let's rewind the clocks back a year. Mainline. Let's talk about mainline Black Series first, just the regular waves. From 2013 to 2020, Nate, they were $19.99.
Yep.
Never changed. The MSRP never changed in those 8-ish years of time.
Already looking back, a golden age for pricing.
And a lot of the times at Walmart, you would find them for $17.88. I remember that golden number. And then in 2021, so it's like post-COVID pandemic, mainly began in 2020, well into 2021.
Yeah.
They raised the prices to $22.99 for mainline. And that was very brief. Super brief. Now in 2022... to current, onward, $24.99 for mainline.
So quite the significant price increase in such a short period of time after going so many years with it literally just being $19.99 and then to just have 1 year go by and we've seen essentially a $5 increase on just your standard everyday Black Series figure, not deluxe, not exclusive, just available wherever. Yeah,
it was a pretty brief period with the $22.99, and I was perfectly okay with that. I was like, okay, they haven't increased the price since the line's inception in 2013. It's been like 7 or 8 years. I get it. One thing to bring up is inflation. And if you look at your average inflation calculator, $19.99 in 2013 is worth $25.47 today. Roughly, it probably changes every day, but using that strict line of logic, I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense then. If $19.99 in 2013 is worth over $25 today, the figures are pretty much $25. I'm like, in that way, I can see how that makes sense, because all of those years prior when they were the same price, Hasbro is essentially eating that difference. So from a certain business point of view, they're almost losing money when they don't adjust the price like they do. That being said, though, I feel like a lot of collectors and just a lot of people in general, not to get too political, feel like, we're kind of left in the dust when it comes to inflation, because not everyone gets an appropriate bump in their wage to respect that inflation.
Right.
In respect to that inflation. So I feel like a lot of collectors are they're just looking at it as, it used to be 20, now it's 25. I still have relatively the same amount of money. So the figures are going up, and I'm still getting, they're not coming with more accessories to, justify that price.
I think something else that's worth mentioning, too, is just the cost of everything going up specifically right now as well.
Yeah.
So it's like your average everyday stuff that really didn't change much in price from year to year, like, your milk, your bread, your grocery items don't really change that much. But now we've seen a significant increase recently. So it's like that on top of all of these price hikes for action figures, with just you said, not reflecting that with a lot of people's pay, I think it just seems even more extreme.
Right.
All things considered.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, mainline, it's $5.
Yeah.
And the waves are spread out. To me, at least for mainline, has not affected me at all, especially since mainline is pretty much reserved for the new sculpts.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm willing to pay $25 for like the new unique sculpts that they do. Yeah, that's another thing to mention, is that Black Series is the main thing we collect.
Yeah.
It's priority number one. There's like other things that we do collect, but Black Series at the end of the day, Star Wars, that's like our number one priority. So in our minds, we set aside money towards the Black Series, even if it's like a figure in a different line has so much more value. Well, that's just like a random brand or license.
Right.
We're Star Wars fans first when it comes to our collecting.
The best example that we could use is G.I. Joe. I have a few G.I. Joe classified figures. I like the designs, but that's about it. And yeah, you could look at those figures and see all the accessories they include and all that great stuff, which is awesome for G.I. Joe fans. But to us, it's just like, okay. It means nothing to us. It's not our bread and butter.
But let's talk about deluxe, Nate.
True. This is a pretty big problem. It seems like almost every other figure is ending up becoming a deluxe figure, especially if your name is Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's the new thing that Hasbro has been doing this past year or so, is putting these characters in a wider box, taking the accessories off and just like spreading out the accessories.
Yeah.
A lot of these figures are great, but there is a whole heck of a lot of empty box with like Saw Gerrera, even the Dark Trooper. It's a pretty blank, empty box.
Yeah.
And I really do not like that practice, because it's so obvious that it's almost like they're treating you like a child. They're trying to like trick you. It seems too much like a trick, like a gotcha.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's helmet is off, so it makes it look like it's this totally awesome separate accessory.
I was going to say, like, the most egregious examples are definitely the Boba Fett figures, because every single accessory that figure comes with is something that has been included with standard figures before. So it's like, what's the difference? Like, if you think about it in terms of like Bo-Katan, she comes with blasters, a jetpack, removable helmet, standard figure.
Yeah.
Boba Fett comes with jetpack, 2 blasters, removable helmet, deluxe figure.
Right. And I mean, he's a bit of a thicker character,
but still,
if Chewbacca and Vader are standard releases, there's no reason for Boba Fett or Cobb Vanth to be a deluxe figure. They also charge significantly more. It's not just a few dollars more, it is over $6 more now. The pricing is also all over the place, which we'll get into more with exclusives.
Yeah.
But some of them are $31.49. Saw was $33.99. When I rang them up at Target, it was almost $40, depending on your state and your sales tax. And I was like, but it's a great figure.
I mean, even the Maldo Kreese build-up pack, which is technically a deluxe release, $38.99.
Yeah.
So the deluxe pricing just seems like it's just anywhere. It could be anywhere from $32 to $40. And it just kind of doesn't make sense, because you look at the deluxe selection and none of them have like a consistent like theme where you'd look at it and go, oh yeah, that's a deluxe action figure.
Like the Cal Kestis Gaming Greats. That's like deluxe, comes with a bunch of extra accessories. And a lot of these examples are great figures, though. Like, I love Throne Room Boba, I love Cobb, I love the Dark Trooper.
For sure.
When it is like those new sculpts, I will make an exception to this. And it's not like they're super common, but they are becoming a little more frequent these days with just the spread out the accessories.
Yeah.
And then we have exclusives. Now, not necessarily like the Black Series exclusive problem. We're going to make that a separate episode as well.
Yeah.
But as far as price, so we actually learned through one of the Hasbro Q&As that they do not give the retailer exclusive a recommended price, like an MSRP. The exclusive retailer, as far as I know, and interpreting of what they said, the exclusive retailer that has an exclusive figure gets to choose whatever price they want. So, for example, if you guys picked up the 187th Battalion Clone Trooper from Walgreens, it was $24.99. The Target exclusives are $26.49. And the GameStop exclusives are $27.99. some GameStop figures they're even trying to sell for like $29.98 or something like that. The pricing is all over the place, and I find that really annoying.
Yeah, it just almost directly relates to deluxe figures. And then, yeah, like the Maldo Kreese set being a Target exclusive, you get slapped with deluxe price, exclusive tax. And so just the building up of all of these insane price hikes. And again, all of these figures are extremely recent.
Yes.
So it's just one after the other. You're like, what is the price of these figures, and why does it keep changing literally between the stores I'm going to in the same city?
Yeah, it seems like every exclusive release is a different price. Every deluxe figure is a different price. And then you have fan channels that also charge different things for regular.
Yeah.
Which, like, I get it because they're a specialized, third-party, smaller business, and I totally understand that, but it doesn't help that you see, like, Big Bad charge $26 or $27 for mainline, but then Amazon has it for $24.99, and Dorkside has it for something else. Prices are all over the place, and I feel like people might be a bit more receptive to these prices if it was just consistent across the board. This is the retailer exclusive price. This is the deluxe price. This is the standard mainline price.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, PulseCon exclusives, which have been all over the place, like the Boba in Disguise, the all-black one, which is not deluxe, but it's like a con exclusive. So that one was $33.99. Easy pass all day. I think that's one of the most egregious examples of a price-hiked figure. I mean, why is it more expensive than the deluxe throne room or Return of the Jedi Boba Fett?
You aren't wrong, but it is just such a nice looking figure. And that's truly the decision that has to be made, is like you have to look at yourself and ask, what are you personally willing to pay for whatever character is being offered to you?
Right.
I think that plays a huge part in deciding on what we are willing to spend on. You know, like, say, Clone Wars Season 7 Maul. Say it really was a $30 figure, you know. I'd do it because I love that version of Maul.
It's an essential character.
And I want that representation on the shelf, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that. You know, so many people, oh, well, I'll just stop collecting this line and go collect this line. And it's like, it's just not the same. You can't replace your bread and butter with something else just because it's cheaper.
You mean you don't want to just buy NECA Predators from comic books that you've never read?
No, I want to buy figures that I know, that I like,
Star Wars,
that I enjoy. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, is it's just, what am I willing to pay for whatever character is in front of me? It's actually pretty easy to make those decisions. I mean,
yeah,
in the past, sure, I was just like, yep, get the whole wave, no questions asked.
Right. I think that's what we're getting to as well.
Yeah.
Like, our conclusion, and to, like, officially answer, like, are we getting priced out of the Black Series? No, of course not. But there's no denying that we have become more selective. I would say I've become a lot more selective than you have.
Yes.
Like, the Cassian and B2 EMO, what was that, $56?
Yeah. There have been some absolutely outrageous prices recently, and yeah, the simplest answer to are we getting priced out is, in a way, sure, but at the same time,
back in the day, like you were saying, I would be picking up an entire wave, especially if I found it in store. Now, to be fair, I still do for mainline, because mainline is on fire. There are so many new sculpts in mainline.
Yeah.
But I do find myself, like my most recent vlog, it was like Maul, GI, and Ayla. Those were like the three I absolutely need right now for retail price. I skipped out, obviously, on Grogu, Grief, and Migs, because I'm like, I say in the video, like, maybe I'll get those like down the road, wait for a sale.
Yeah.
There are tons of figures that we wait for sales, like Ewok Village Leia,
Yep.
stuff like that. So I see what you're saying. It's just, We have sort of streamlined what we go for. And I would recommend everyone do that. Are you a big OT guy or gal? Do you like the Disney Plus era content stuff? Do you like prequels and Clone Wars? I think that's the best solution to a person who is reacting very negatively to these price hikes, is just focus in on what you really, really want to have representation of, and just become a little more picky and choosy. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I know I have passed on so much stuff this year, but I've also picked up a lot of stuff because honestly, there's just a lot of Black Series releases.
Yeah.
Like 2022, we have gotten a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I think it also just doesn't hurt at this point to wait for a sale. Especially if you have been collecting the Black Series for a long period of time, you kind of start to know what figures you're like, okay, I'm going to be able to pick that up for like $15 in a couple months. There's some figures, there's characters that you know, like, yes, I do have to buy this at full price. That's my only choice. But, you know, when you kind of get into it, you start to realize like, oh, I could probably wait on that. And even nowadays, I've actually been surprised with how many different figures for the Black Series that I have seen on sale, especially on like Dorkside. They've had Throne Room Boba Fett for as low as $19.99. So that's a figure that I would have never thought would have went that low in price, but here we are. So
the Hasbro quarterly reports, they did report that there is a sensitivity to increase in their products. So I mean, I don't know, supply and demand, is the demand still as high as it once was? I'm not sure. Who knows? I still love the figures. I still love the line.
Yes.
But there's no denying that I have definitely become a bit more selective with what I get, especially when it comes to deluxe, exclusives, the con stuff, the novelty related, like the repaint, especially like repainting Boba just to put it back in the deluxe box, like the Walmart one.
Yeah.
Not for me, but there's nothing wrong with that. With becoming a little more selective, a little more picky and choosy. It's almost a little more fun that way.
Yeah, and it's also kind of nice when you do end up getting that figure you've been waiting on. You do get that nice deal locked in. Like when I got that comic book Leia for $19.99, and now she's even lower at $14.99. I was stoked for $20. I was like, sweet, I will gladly pay $19.99 for Black Series figures these days, because I'm like, it's just like back in the day. But yeah, becoming more selective is definitely what has had to occur. My little TVC side romance is pretty much at an end these days.
Sorry, guys.
Because of the absolute insane price jump that TVC has seen as well. You know, I used to have a lot of fun going, here's a little $12 Star Wars toy. It's a lot of fun. I open it up. I have a little bit of fun with it. I put it on my shelf and forget about it. Now it's like it's an $18 figure, and now I'm like, okay, you're almost pushing 20. And we've even seen new TVC exclusive figures like the recently revealed Kenner homage Boba Fett.
Yep.
$20.99 for that TVC figure. So yeah, it's safe to say, besides like the very occasional, like I'm definitely going to get Jabba's Palace related stuff still, but you know, I had a nice little Clone Wars thing going on here, and I gotta say it's at an end.
Yeah.
I can't continue to shell out so much money for these little tiny figures. That's just for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I've cut out Lego.
Yeah.
Essentially, because it's not just Hasbro raising their prices across the board. It's a lot of other toy companies. I know NECA, we're pretty much priced out of NECA.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing to adjust to these rising costs. You know, we are just like all of you guys out there. We buy every single one of our action figures with our own money, or money that is graciously donated by you guys or people who are channel members and support the content.
Link in the description.
cheap plug for that. Which we're eternally grateful that we're in a position where that we can do that, so that we can actually continue to produce content for people to watch. But otherwise, we are just simply two dudes with full-time jobs spending our own hard-earned money on these action figures, and we both have real lives and people to take care of in our lives.
Wait, what?
And so it affects us too, and we have to become more selective. That is truly the only way to get over these rising prices, because we also have to face the fact that I doubt they're ever going to go back down.
Oh, they're never going back down.
Unless there is a severe, and I mean absolutely severe, drop in like revenue for Hasbro, which action figure revenue for Hasbro, drop in the bucket. I would almost be willing to bet that they would just stop producing 6-inch action figures. And that's just because, you have to think Hasbro owns Play-Doh, they own
Magic the Gathering, Monopoly.
Literally so many things that generate them so much revenue that I would just suspect that if we all stopped buying figures, they would just be like, okay, I guess we're done making them. Like, literally, I think that would be...
I can see that happening.
What would happen...
Then again, they have the Star Wars license, and that's money.
Right,
They can't just do nothing with it.
That is true, but, I could just see it down the road. Like, if sales got so low, I could see them stopping the production of 6-inch figures over lowering the price back to something reasonable.
Right.
So yeah, that is really our thoughts on this situation. It's definitely not an easy situation.
No one wants to pay more.
Yeah, the golden age of action figure collecting, at least price-wise, is truly behind us. Thankfully, most modern figures these days are pretty great. So from that standpoint, I think, we're still in a nice era of action figure collecting. It's just unfortunate that prices are getting so high that we're not able to enjoy as many as we once did.
And we don't have space to buy everything anymore either.
True.
So it kind of balances out.
Yeah, it does kind of balance itself out. So yeah, let us know what you guys are doing out there in terms of dealing with these ever-rising costs for action figures. We'd love to have a nice discussion with you in the comments down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. We're always talking about the Black Series here on the channel, and if you'd like to support us in a more direct manner, we do also offer a channel membership for 99 cents a month. You get access to a custom Clone Trooper name badge and custom emojis that you can use on our videos and in our live streams, which are every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And most importantly, it just helps support the channel,
True.
Special thank you to our current channel members. Your continued support is truly appreciated. And thank you to everyone else out there for simply watching, liking, subscribing, sharing our videos with your Star Wars figure-loving friends. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you all next time on Out of the Basement.